Started here. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Let's Be Social. I'm Bea, and I have a very exciting guest on today. His name is Bishop Stevens. I'm going to call him actor extraordinaire. And also
Okay.
a former pro wrestler. He has also been on hit shows like Empire, Chicago PD, and has also appeared on The Walking Dead.
Right.
So welcome to my little Let's Be Social podcast show. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Bea, how are you today?
I'm doing fabulous.
You look fantastic. You look mwah, as they would say.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. So we'll just hop into the conversation. I just wanted
Right.
to ask you how you kind of got started on your acting journey, and what brought you to where you are now.
Well, I guess I could say things that I couldn't say, 10, 15, 20 years ago. I'm a former pro wrestler with World Championship Wrestling, WCW, and the WWE, which at the time was the WWL. And the truth be told, everybody pretty much knows it now, so I can say it. Pro wrestlers are actors. We're not just sports. But we do have to act. And the truth is that that's how I got started in my acting career, so to speak. But then when I got injured, right before my tenure with the WWF was about to start, which is now the WWE was about to begin, I got injured. And that put me out of the business. But I still had this little thing, that little itch about, that little celebrity wanting to be itch, it's all, it was still going. So I got into the fitness business.
Yeah.
And I had one of those, I actually did a fitness DVD. I did a fitness workout video, and we were doing late night television commercials, those late night infomercials.
Yeah.
Somebody saw me on the infomercial at had to be about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. And then the next day, I got a phone call that someone had been trying to reach me at the studio where we filmed it.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to talk to me. I talked to the guy, and it was all about being in a movie. And I was like, first I thought he was BSing me. I was like, no, man, I can't do that. But then he called back like 2 or 3 times. And at the time, other wrestlers like Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Booker T, and some other guys who are friends of mine appeared on the TV show Charmed. So it was just, I said, why not? I'll give it a shot. That movie never came. We did shoot the trailer for that movie, but the movie itself never got made. But that was enough to kind of fix that itch that I had going on about that acting, that celebrity itch going on. And I don't know how. The next thing I know, I got a call from Chicago about a new TV show at the time called Empire. Mm-hmm. And I'm a big Taraji P. Henson fan. I've always been a big fan of hers. So I was like, okay, I get to work, with, yeah, I'm gonna take it. I get to work with Taraji, yeah, I'll do it. And yeah, everything just went from there. Being in Chicago, filming Empire, I got to do Chicago PD a couple of times. Mm-hmm. And then from Chicago PD, a friend of mine hooked me up with someone out in Atlanta. Next thing I know, I'm getting a call, hey, would you consider coming to Atlanta and doing a couple of spots on The Walking Dead? And I was like, yeah, yeah. I was like, okay. So yeah, so that's it. Just steamrolled from there, and now I set goals for myself every year. I've always reached my goals, and then now I'm starring in movies next. One of my goals was to be able to work opposite mainstream celebrities.
Yeah.
And now it's to be a mainstream celebrity, so to speak. So, yeah.
That's like you're just going up the ladder. You're just working your way up there.
And that's the way you got to look at it. I don't think anybody who's in any type of business
Mm-hmm.
should ever think any other way as to it's a step ladder, and you have to, once you hit one step, there's another one. And then once you hit that one, there's another one. If you do anything else, you're going to become stagnant.
Yeah.
And in this business, you are only as good as your last movie.
Sure.
You know, so if you become stagnant and you just stop,
Mm-hmm.
you know, okay, next year, the year after, now don't nobody know who you are.
Yeah.
You know, so I've actually been blessed with the people that I work with, and you know, the people that I work with, you know, deal with Netflix and I've been in movies on Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, you know, Shutter, you know, so yeah, we're doing pretty good. The people I work with are doing pretty good. Yeah.
Fabulous. Did you find it really challenging to kind of work your way up to where you are now?
I want to say yes, but then people are going to look for this big old sad story of how things, well, I had to do this and I had to, you know, yes, I did sleep in my car a couple of times, but that was because driving from St. Louis to Chicago, you get there and you fall asleep waiting for, you know, call time.
Yeah.
Okay. The truth of the matter is it wasn't as bad as a lot of people think. For one, because of my pro wrestling background.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking for the next Rock. You know, everybody's looking for that next natural, you know, person in front of a camera.
Mm-hmm.
And pro wrestlers have always had that.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, my size. You know, I'm a big guy, so that opens a lot of doors. So I definitely have the acting chops that people say, and I have size to, you know, to actually play certain characters and do certain roles. So it's not that it was hard, it was staying focused.
Yeah.
That's it. It wasn't hard, especially I'm in the Midwest.
Okay.
So if you're looking for a guy with a great smile, but yet can look really like, I'm a sure, you know, if you're looking for somebody who can do that switch
Mm-hmm.
and then has the size to back it up, most people will say, hey, contact Bishop Stevens if you're filming in the Midwest. You know, now if I was out in LA or something with all them, you know, big bodybuilder guys and stuff like that, it would be a little harder, but
yeah.
You know, I still think I hold my own pretty well. You know, yeah.
I believe that. I believe. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that's great. Do you have something that kind of inspires you to keep going? Because I know you said you maintain your focus. Is there anything that, is there any particular person or anything that inspires you to kind of keep going?
Well, you know, I mean, I know a lot of people in this business, they say something about their moms or their dads and stuff like that. And I will say, you know, my father, something he said to me once, which he has a joke to my mom. He said, that boy's going to be a millionaire and not know how he got there.
Yeah.
You know, he says that, you know, he used to say that all the time. And one of the things that he basically has always said is that's the problem. Like I just said a minute ago, when you hit each goal, hit each run of that ladder, if you got to look up and say, I'm not done yet, that's what gets you there. That's what inspires me.
Yeah.
You know, I can literally, I'm happy with my career. I can walk into Walmart or McDonald's, go to the bathroom, sit in a stall, and ain't nobody gonna bother me. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. But by the same token, to get to that level where once I walk in that Walmart, everybody's trying to take pictures or trying to do whatever, that is an inspiration, a goal inspiration to get to.
Yeah.
You know, once, you know, the part where you say, I got to go to the bathroom, but I can't go to a McDonald's bathroom, you know, because I don't want nobody bothering me. That's an inspiration.
Yeah.
To get to. So every time I hit that run of that ladder, you know, every time I'm on a set and I'm standing across from a named actor. Mm-hmm. You know, when I'm working with Michael Beach, or I'm working with Kevin Sorbo, or I'm working with, you know, Bai Ling, or I'm working with Tara Reid or somebody, and I think about, you know what? I want some young actor to be standing across from me thinking exact same thing that I'm thinking right now.
Yeah.
That I'm gonna be him one day.
Yeah. Be the
You
inspiration.
know, yeah, that is a big inspiration. It's kind of like your show. It's like you have your show, and I know we talked about how you do it, and it's something you enjoy doing. But deep down, way back here, it wouldn't be so bad if your show became one of the top interview podcast shows. That would be so cool, wouldn't it? And you were interviewing people like Danny Glover or just any big, that would be so cool. So it's something for you to inspire for.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So you think about the people you've interviewed in the past,
Yep.
and now you're interviewing somebody like me.
Yes.
And the next time you'll be somebody twice as big as me. No, it'll be me again. Don't worry about it. Never mind. It'll be me again. Never mind. It'll be me. Don't worry about it. My mistake. But you'll be like, oh, I'm interviewing Bishop Stevens again. We got it like that, and so yeah, that's moving up that ladder. You just got to keep it going,
Yeah, absolutely. You got to start somewhere.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
you start small and you work your way up, like you were saying. So I think that's awesome that you want to be, you're working towards working with the big actors, and now you want to be the big actor.
Big actor, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. That's such a great goal. I mean, you can't top that once you reach that.
Well, let's hope that it's one of those. Let's hope it's one of those things that when you get to that level, there's another level past it.
Yeah.
If you think about a lot of our really big celebrities now, what's their next thing? Dwayne Johnson, what is his next step?
Yeah.
What's his name? Almost any of them, Chad, almost any of the big celebrities. What is their next step? Now, most of them, once they hit that level of superstardom, they're getting into producing.
Okay.
They're actually producing their movies and stuff like that. And now some of them are actually writing their own films so that they can say, hey, this is something I came up with. This is not just me as an actor. This is my dream.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them are actually going that way now.
Is that something you could see yourself doing?
I'm already doing it.
Oh. Oh.
I'm already doing it. The one of the movies that we're going to talk about, I actually co-wrote.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that then. Tell me about it.
Okay. Well, we are, believe it or not, I know everybody thinks the first thing most people say is it's already been done.
Yeah.
That is something that people love to say, oh, well, it's already been done. Now, but when you do that, you have to worry about, can you do it better?
Mm-hmm.
Or at least can you do it good enough to raise up that ladder?
Yeah.
Can your show be as good as the shows that are out there right now? Yeah. So that your show can move up the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the cool thing is that, believe it or not, there is something that's never been done before.
Mm-hmm.
And we did it. We did it. As you know, horror movies are the #1 genre of movies there are. Action movies, horror movies are a constant win if you can write a good horror movie. I know I star in a couple of them that are coming out. But the one genre of movie that outdoes horror movies, true crime serial killer movies. When true crime fans amaze me, they love their serial killers. But they love them. So I kind of got into that Netflix Dahmer.
Yes.
Movie, a series that was out, and I was chatting with a friend of mine, EJ Hammond, and she is a serial killer historian.
Okay.
So I was talking to her, and I said, and the joke, it was a joke. The joke literally was, a black man could have never gotten away with stuff like that. you know, and she thought it was so funny. I was like, what's funny about it? And she started telling me about African American serial killers. And I'm like, and I'm sure a lot of your viewers, there's going to be a lot of your viewers right now that are going, huh?
Yeah.
What? Believe it or not, yeah, there are 39, almost 40% of the serial killers in America are African American.
Really?
But you never hear about them.
Never hear about it.
You never really hear about them. You may hear about them when they first get caught.
Mm-hmm.
You may hear about them when they go to trial, and that's it.
Yeah.
There has never, ever been an African American feature film biopic about an African American serial killer. There's never been one.
You're right.
But yet there are hundreds of biopics, documentaries, feature films about serial killers, but there's never been one about an African American.
Yeah.
So we wrote it.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, we wrote one. We wrote one, and it's called the Baton Rouge Serial Killer,
mm-hmm.
and it's about Derrick Todd Lee.
Mm-hmm.
He was active in Baton Rouge, Louisiana between 1992, 93, and 2003. And he was actually finally stopped by DNA evidence.
Oh, wow.
So, and during that time, he was basically brought in and accused of 7 murders, but he is believed to have done at least 14.
Wow.
In that time frame. Okay. There's actually a lot more unsolved murders that back then DNA evidence was really just getting going. So they didn't really use it. So there's a lot between Zachary, Louisiana, and Baton Rouge, Louisiana, that they're saying it could have been him.
Right.
So we wrote the first African American serial killer biopic feature film. We are already presently in pre-production with the studio, and we're location scouting and everything now.
Amazing. You might have just created a whole brand new genre of film.
You know what? The idea that if you look up African American serial killers and you see these guys, it's an amazing thing that they don't do more movies, because these guys, in my book, some of these guys are twice as bad as a Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer was mentally sick.
Yeah.
This guy, Derrick Todd Lee, would kill his victims and then have intimacy with the women.
Yuck.
He only killed women. He didn't care how. Now, keep in mind what I just said.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter to him how old they were. From almost one lady that was about in her 80s or 60s or 80s, she was up there, all the way back down to a college student, to a young college student. So there was he went from one age group all the way up. Right. He didn't care what social status they were in. He didn't care rich lady all the way down, like I said, to a broke college student.
Yeah.
Military, didn't care what color they were, black, white, Spanish, he didn't care.
Yeah.
So he had no real modus operandi, as police say. He had no real way of doing things. And the interesting thing was, he never broke into anybody's house.
Okay.
There was never a sign of break-in, kicked in doors, nothing like that. So somehow he literally got these women to let him in their house.
Yeah.
Actually, that's how that's one of the ways we picked this guy, because EJ said, Bishop, you're big, you're nice looking, you got this smile. A lot of people think you're mean, but then you got a smile. And he was known to be very charismatic. If you look him up, one of the biggest things they say about Derrick Todd Lee was he was very charismatic.
Yeah.
So he was definitely not your guy who you thought just sat in the basement.
Yeah.
Or nothing like that. He was very charismatic. He was married with children. So he definitely did not fit. He didn't even fit the white serial killer stereotype.
Right. Yeah. No,
He didn't
that's
even fit that.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like most sociopaths are very charismatic, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, so they were like, you got that look, the size, and the charismatic and smile, and basically, we. Okay, let me make this clear, people. Everybody watching, other than the serial killer part, again, other than the serial killer part, I'm basically playing myself.
Right.
Yeah, I get to basically play myself. I get to be me and smile and friendly and whatever else until he snaps.
Right.
Until he snaps. It just seems he just had a hatred for women.
Okay.
It's basically what it was. So yeah, that just seems that, and it's weird because from everything we've researched on him, it's not like he had a hard time getting girls, but it's the ones he couldn't get. That are the ones who spoke back to him, are those are what he focused on and went after.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's brilliant.
Yeah. So we wrote it. I get a writer credit, executive producer credit, and I'm starting kind of like Sylvester. I'm doing my Sylvester Stallone deal, like he did with Rocky. So like we actually pitched it to several different studios.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth is, we had several different studios interested.
I believe that. Yeah.
The problem, because everybody said the same thing. First, this kind of hadn't been done.
Yeah.
This movie will get hype because people will say a black serial killer, and they'll just want to see how that went down.
Yeah.
And then other people will look and go, a black serial killer. I got to see how that went down. You know what I'm saying? So people are they're gonna want to see it all for the same reason, but for different aspects of the reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's been an amazing journey with this, and like I said, we had several different studios that did want it, but I'm in that frame of mind. Like I said, it's a different step of that ladder I got to go up.
Yeah.
So just like Sylvester Stallone had a number of studios who would have bought Rocky, but they didn't want him to play the role.
Right.
So therefore he wouldn't sell it. Mm-hmm. So the same thing. So that's pretty much what happened with this. Several other studios were like, oh, we like a younger guy. We like to do whatever, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, nah, dude, I'm the same age that he was when he got busted, so we're in that same bracket, and I mean, no, there's no way I'm gonna let someone else step into this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think that's amazing. I mean, I think that's gonna have great success.
Yeah. I think I believe so too.
Yeah.
And like and like we said before, Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, or well now Max, all of those streaming services right now are specializing in serial killer films. Netflix has actually ordered three new ones. Well, actually, I think they ordered two, and then they're doing another Dahmer, something else about Dahmer. Okay. I think. I think I'm right. But anyway, I know that there's three in the works for them. Hulu, is definitely in the works on something on that. And then, that type of film is also something you might catch on Lifetime. The Lifetime. Now they'll probably take out a lot of the four-letter words, stuff like that. But there's a segment of Lifetime and ID films. And investigation ID films discovered a lot of those their stuff is based on serial killer stuff. So yeah, there's this film can pretty much go anywhere. Yeah. And we were really smart as far as we are on, just like the very first Dahmer movie, the very first Bundy movie, the very first Richard Ramirez movie. They all only focused on the murders, the first ones of all those. And we did the same thing. We're not talking about his backstory. We're not talking about his childhood. We're not even talking about his marriage life.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. We are only focused. It's an hour and a half, almost, or more, about his victims, how he found them, how he picked them, the police response, the government, the political response, the media response. That in itself, those in itself is what we wrote about.
Wow. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we actually have photos. If you go to the Facebook page, Derrick Todd Lee Biopic, or if you just type in the Baton Rouge Serial Killer, it should pop up on Facebook. Tell your people, you guys go like, friend, all that type of stuff. Build those numbers up on that Facebook page. But there's photos of me dressed and in the when he was arrested. There's a picture him and me next to each other. I wish I could kind of flip that onto you, but I don't know how. That's your thing. So that's you. So
well, that's very cool. Well, that's very exciting, and that's going to get you into the realm of producing and writing and get you kind of on that path too. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Well, I have 3 movies that should be coming out this year. Lionsgate Bloodthirst, which I'm one of the main characters in there, and I star in that film with Tara Reid, Robert Lasordo, and not Louis, his brother. This is not Louis Mandalore. Costas Mandalore. So I saw Costas Mandalore, Tara Reid, and Robert Lasordo, and that's Lionsgate is putting that out later sometime this year. Now we don't know if it's going to be video on demand like some of the other things they put out, or if they're actually going to put it to or to one of the streaming services. We're not sure. Yeah. I also have John Eisberg's Final Summer, which is a throwback slasher film that everybody's going crazy over. It has won so many awards. It's in all kind of festivals, and the rumor is that it's going to be released with AMC theaters across the country. Oh, nice. In fact, if you go on AMCtheaters.com, and you type in Final Summer, it pops up. You click it, it opens up, and it's about the movie. All of our names there, and that's on. So evidently, there's some type of deal going on with AMC theaters, So with that one. That's cool. And then the last one is the studio who we decided to work with for the Derrick Todd Lee film. That studio is Heroic Age Studios in Mount Zion, Illinois. Okay. And we decided to work with them because I did a movie with them called Trick and Treats. And that's expected to be released later this year. And that one I star with Malcolm McDowell and Gary Busey. Oh, wow. Yeah. So and Eric Hector, the CEO of the studio, was like, no, Bishop, you would definitely be perfect for the Derrick Todd Lee role. So again, that's the reasons why we went with Heroic Age Studios. So yeah.
All right.
And welcome back to the show. I've always wanted to do that.
Oh, that's perfect. Okay. Sorry.
You can put that on your little thing whenever you have cuts. Well,
yeah.
Yeah. Everybody in 2 and 2.
Oh, that's funny. So once you have all these movies done and they're out, do you see yourself doing more horror genre, or do you think you're going to move more into, do you see yourself kind of transitioning out of horror and more into like serial killer roles, that kind of stuff, or?
I hope not. Girl, come on, I hope not. Ooh. Oh, I do not want to be walking down the street and a bunch of people, there he is, get him. I want to be able to go to Walmart. I don't want to be getting chased out of, chased out of Walmart. Okay. No, actually, I will tell you when I actually got into this,
Yeah.
I had a dream, and like how a lot of actors want to play superheroes or legendary heroes, things like that. Yeah. Believe it or not, my dream where I will feel very happy and would like is action films, mm-hmm. but not just any action films. Mm-hmm. My dream role is G.I. Joe.
Okay.
It's G.I. Joe. My dream role, I have loved G.I. Joe since I was a kid. Mm-hmm. I had the Army men. I had the characters. I had G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip. I'm telling my age there. Maybe we should cut that part out anyway. But no, I've always, Dwayne Johnson played character Roadblock. Mm-hmm. And so there's several, and then Marlon Wayans, played, was in a G.I. Joe film play. So, and a lot of people don't understand how many G.I. Joe soldiers are actually in the G.I. Joe comics and things like that. So yeah, my dream gig mm-hmm. is a G.I. Joe character, to be a G.I. Joe character. My genre that I would love to be in is action films. And only because they're so much fun, whether, they're horror films and things like that are fun. But, just the fight scenes, I remember I'm a former pro wrestler, I can't do that no more. But yeah, the action films and stuff like that, the fight scenes and things like that would be, that to be able to look at it and be like, I did that. That's me. That's me. Even though it'd be my stunt person, but I'd be like, that's me. That's me. So yeah, so action adventure would be cool.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Indiana Jones?
Oh, absolutely. I can totally see you as a G.I. Joe and getting into action and stuff like that. I can totally see that happening.
That's where I want to go.
Oh, that's awesome. That's very good. That's a great aspiration to have, and I totally see it happening.
Well, and the again, it goes back to what we were talking about each ladder. This goes over well. Right now the films that I have coming out, they're all horror films, mm-hmm. but I'm one of the lead characters or one of the main. Even Final Summer, I'm not in the film that much. Mm-hmm. But I am one. But I've actually got to that level to where if you look up the film, you see two or three names that they are really hyping the film up about.
Yeah.
Mine is number 2.
Awesome.
Tom Matthews, Bishop Stevens, and Coach Carl. We are like the 3. Now, like I said, we're barely in the film.
Yeah.
But our names are high enough to hype it up. Mm-hmm. And then but it also sets up for a second film. Mm-hmm. So, there's a good chance there's going to be a second Final Summer film. Yeah. A good chance. I'm not going to say there isn't. I'm saying there's a good chance. We'll have to see what happens, but there's a good chance. But yeah, that's where you get to the point where somebody will say, he's big, he's tough looking, he's this, he used to be a wrestler, he can be the next action star.
Yeah.
And they want to give you that shot. Somebody bring you into their action film or their military film, and bam, there you go. And then the next thing you know, hey, G.I. Joe is calling.
Yes, absolutely.
See that ladder? See how it goes? That ladder. See? That's it.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely. I love your positivity. And I do have a question for you. If you were giving advice to people like beginners, for example, would you have advice for them?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't do it. No. Okay. Let me say this the right way. If you don't have, let me say this as real as I can.
Okay.
My support system is very strong. Mm-hmm. And also being in the Midwest now, I have no plans whatsoever to move out to LA and be one of that. That is a no-no. I'm not going to move out to LA and be one of the big muscle-bound, bald-headed black men that are out there trying to get in the movies. Why go be a small fish in a huge pond when out here in the Midwest, St. Louis, Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, Indiana, Wisconsin, the Midwest areas, when you could be a whale in a pond. So you see all these young actors move out to LA, move down to Atlanta, move out to New York, and they're back within 6 months. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a strong support system, don't do it. So let me make that perfect. I'm not telling you not to believe in your dreams.
Yeah.
But it's just like college, baby. You got to have a support system. You got to be able to pay those bills. You got to be able to drive a car. You want to be an actor, you got to have a car. Mm-hmm. You got to be able to get back and forth to your auditions. You got to be able to travel. Yeah. Not just if you get a booking, if you live in Wisconsin and you get a booking in Kentucky, you got to be able to get there and back. Yeah. That's simple. As far as that also goes now with that said, people have to keep in mind that I was a pro wrestler first. Yeah. I was in the entertainment business first. A lot of times I do a lot of appearances at conventions, but a lot of that is because of my wrestling background as well as my act. They actually can book one person and cover 2 genres of fame, movies and wrestling. Yeah. And I was lucky enough to get on hit television shows.
Yes.
So when I go to a convention, they book me as from Empire. Empire and The Walking Dead are 2 of the biggest, for African Americans. Empire, our power. If you can get on one of those shows, okay? African American fans will flock to a convention if you're there, and they can say you were on Empire, our power. Mm-hmm. The Walking Dead. Everybody will flock to a convention to see you if you can, if you were on the walk, and on The Walking Dead, I was basically just an extra. I was just an extra. But the point is, I got to be in the trailer backstage with Norman Reedus. I got to, it was there. So, there's get your support system. I'm not telling you not to follow your dream.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that before you do, get your support system together. Mm-hmm. Make sure you have that. So many people just run out to LA, and it's not like it used to be. For every beautiful blonde with beautiful blue or green eyes, whatever you got there, whatever you got. For every okay, so you go out to LA, you're one of.
Yeah.
I don't know where you live, but where you are now, you up here.
Thank you.
But you go. There you go. But you go out to LA. Yeah. You're still up here, but there's thousands of other women up there too.
Yeah.
So your competition
increases.
Right. And that's when it turns into who you know, right. Who's in your corner, who you're connected to. Okay. So again, my support system, if I ever was to go out to LA, I would not go until I'm invited.
Yeah.
When I go out to LA, you will know I got an agent, I got a manager, I already have some type of movie ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm all right. I have a casting director who likes me. Okay. So I'm not gonna go there and just be like this. Yeah. I'm gonna go there and have those things in place. You see what I'm saying? That's it. Make sure your support system is in place before you try to go somewhere. Because if you can't get auditions, if you can't get those doors open, if you can't go to the events where those type of people are, so they can see you and talk to you, that's it. That's it. That's my advice. Make sure you have your support system before you jump off in this business with both feet.
That's great advice. I do have to ask you your opinion on this AI business that's happening everywhere, in every sector. How do you think that it's going to affect the acting business? Do you have any thoughts?
Well, I'm hoping what's going on now with the writers,
Mhm.
I'm hoping that definitely goes their way, because a lot of people now, I know there's some movie producers now who might see this and go, "Oh, Bishop, you shouldn't have said that." But here's the deal: the truth is, this if they get them
Mhm.
actors, we're next.
Yes.
There are deep fake AI generated things with Ron DeSantis, his face and mouth and voice on The Office.
Hmm.
If they get to where they can put us in, I mean, shoot, they put Prince and Michael Jackson in concerts, Whitney Houston in concerts. They've been dead for years, and they're doing concerts.
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine if they could take Brad Pitt's young face,
Yeah.
and put him on in a movie without Brad Pitt not there.
Yeah.
Then before you know it, Brad Pitt ain't getting paid.
Yeah.
Okay, they got your voice, they got your looks, they doing all this. And something that people let me give you guys a little bit of knowledge. A little bit of knowledge. Computer generated stuff has been around for years. And you know how many people it's put out of work? Like we said earlier, it used to be if they wanted a building on fire,
Mhm.
they had to hire a crew, a special crew that would do that and burn the building. And they would have police, and fire department all around, explosive experts. They had to have, for cars, blah, 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 blah. Now it's all computer generated. And you can literally look at most of those fires and explosions. You can kind of tell
Yeah. Yeah.
that it's not, you can kind of tell it's not the real thing.
Yeah.
But even though that kept the editor, the computer guy is working, but now you got a whole crew of fire experts and explosion experts and all that kind of stuff. Now you got a whole crew of people out of work. Could you imagine when if AI took over stunts?
Yeah.
I mean, the stunts they would do would be incredible, but yet you'd have stunt people totally out of work.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, if they got to that point, wow, you would have teams of people out of work. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not real. I mean, and I know a lot of people say, well, it's just not the same. It's just not the same now.
Yeah.
But as it gets better, as the technology, I mean, like I said, if you have not seen the Ron DeSantis thing that Donald Trump posted,
Mhm.
Donald Trump Jr. posted of Ron DeSantis in on the TV show The Office.
Mhm.
There's another person, I think it's a female. Now you can kind of tell hers is not right, but the
Mhm.
Ron DeSantis one, it's close.
Wow.
It's close, and I mean, you give that 5 years to tighten up. You give them 5 years to tighten that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like I said, just like Michael Jackson and Prince on stage
Yeah.
with Whitney Houston,
Mhm.
you'll have a young Brad Pitt. You'll have a young Dwayne. You won't need Bishop Stevens because you'll have a young Dwayne Johnson.
Or a young AI Bishop Stevens.
Well, I might not even get to that point by then because they'll be able to bring back,
Yeah.
a young Denzel Washington.
Right.
If they bring back a young Denzel Washington, guys like me ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. I see.
A young Terry Crews, when Terry Crews started back years ago. I mean, that a lot of people pattering me after, you're a Terry Crews type actor. And I love Terry Crews, by the way. I'm a big fan. And I actually do pattern my career kind of after him. He was in sports. He broke into films. He's in the blah, 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 blah. I kind of, but yeah, if you can get a young Terry Crews, AI guy, where I'm going to go? What I'm going to do? What you going to do with me?
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I think it's, I mean, you think about General Motors and you think about all these companies that people are so out of work now because computers are doing their jobs.
Yes.
So it does happen, people.
It does happen. Yeah.
It does. I remember everybody told General Motors workers, no, you're fine. The computers can't do what you do. The machines can never do what you do.
Yeah. And here we are. Yeah.
You got one person working a line at General Motors or Ford, or you got one person working a line, and his job is to sit there until the computer goes stop working, until the machine has an issue. That's his job, to sit there and make sure nothing happens. Even like now, computers are fixing, machines are fixing themselves. They're ordering their own parts when their parts start to go down.
I know, that's crazy.
A part goes down, you don't need to look at it. The computer says B part went down, order B part number, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So that's something's out of work. So like I said, I really hate to say it, but like I said, oh man, I just can't even think about AI.
Yeah.
Could you imagine AI taking over John Wick?
No, I couldn't imagine it.
Oh man, AI taking over John Wick would just, everybody makes jokes about the Fast and Furious, the Fast and Furious series, about where they'll be 10, 15. Imagine that'll be all AI.
Yeah.
The car stunts, everything will be AI. So what happens to the actors?
Yeah. They won't get the money. Right?
You won't need them.
Yeah.
You know what happens? They'll have you sign. Some studio or somebody will have you sign.
Yeah.
That you'll get X amount of dollars to let AI for them to use your likeness and do all this.
Right.
And you'll sit at home.
Yeah.
But it won't be what you should be getting. It won't be the fun of being on set. It won't be the camaraderie with the fans. It won't be, you won't be my fan. You'll be that AI generated fan. You will not be my fan.
Yeah.
I'll be sitting somewhere in a wheelchair at 70 years old, and you'll be looking at the 35-year-old, 45-year-old version of me.
Yes.
That never gets older.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
So, no. There's definitely has to be some rules around it. It's huge.
Just don't do it.
Yeah.
When somebody dies or something like that, like I said, the Prince concert thing, the Michael Jackson, the Whitney Houston concert thing, as long as their families are being taken care of about that, I'm still not cool with it.
I know.
Because you ain't seen a concert till you've seen Prince or Michael Jackson in concert for real.
Yes.
But this AI big thing of, spending all that money to go see a hologram.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that starts taking, like I said, even with movies, if you look, come on now, how many times have you looked at a movie and looked at the fire, something blows up and you're going, that looks fake.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
Absolutely.
Shit. I remember when they used to have 5 or 6 cameras at all different angles to blow up a building because they could only do it once.
Yeah.
So do you know? So that means cameramen
had
stability. They had jobs.
Yeah, like the original Die Hard.
Yeah.
That's classic.
Yeah, and look, and some of the scenes from that, they had to have a dozen cameras.
Oh, easily.
High, low, over, behind, this and that, because they can only blow up stuff or do stuff one time.
Yeah.
They was only going to be able to do it one time, and they had far away, they had close up, they had inside the building. They had inside the building cameras.
Yes, and pyrotechnics, right?
Yep. Those people are going to be out of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, they're losing their jobs now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a lot of friends who do effects, blood effects, stuff like that. Come on now. A lot of these movies are using AI generated digital blood.
Oh.
There's a lot of movies doing that now. They'll cut the neck and it's digital blood coming out. Now they used to put a prosthetic on your neck, and they would the prosthetic, and blood would just. They used to have when you stab somebody through a shirt, there would be like this. They'd have the shirt, and they would have this bag full of blood.
Yeah.
So when you stabbed it and you pulled the knife out, blood, it was just blood. Now it's like a fake knife and that goes in. and then you pull it back out, and then it's computer generated blood. And it's not, so yeah. So it's been around for a while, and
Yeah.
it's already put a lot of people out of work.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
That's a shame. That's a
Yeah.
shame. Hopefully with everything, things kind of get settled out a little bit, and everyone can keep their jobs, and they don't really go there. I know a lot of people don't want that. And
Yeah.
even as a writer, like I'm a writer myself, I don't want that.
Right.
There's nothing can replace humans. I'm sorry. They're not, they can say they're as good, but they're not.
No, they're definitely. I mean, they don't. You can't get that feeling.
No.
You can't get that. You can't get that feeling about something. If you're lucky,
Yeah.
they'll write. I mean, could you imagine a computer? And let me just say this. Let me just say that. I know we were supposed to cut this a while ago, but let me say this.
So
When you hand me a script and a Caucasian or white writer
yeah.
has written,
Mhm.
and he hands me a script, and I'm reading it. Now, let's be real.
Mhm.
It's hard for a white writer to
Mhm.
write things the way a Black actor would actually say them or see them.
Agreed.
I don't say teacup.
Yeah.
I would never say teacup.
Yeah.
Okay, I would never say words like that.
Yeah.
So you have to have, but compared to an AI generated is going to say the proper way to say stuff.
Okay.
They're probably going to say the proper way. So without that help of how I would say it,
Yeah.
it won't come over. It won't sound right. It won't come off right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just hope it doesn't. The strike is. We're all. Actors are supporting it as well as. I think pretty much most people in the industry are supporting the writer's strike because they understand the fact that they're next.
I believe that the public is supportive too.
Yeah, I hope so. I understand the fact. I do understand the fact that there's a lot of people in the public who are thinking, like I said, the stunts would be amazing, or the car, just all this amazing stuff that that a computer that you can do in a computer that you can't really do.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, yeah, John Wick could jump up and down, do 5 backflips, land on one toe, shoot a guy with a double barrel with one hand without having to do whatever, doing a cartwheel with one hand, drop 4 or 5 guys and shoot. Yeah, a computer generated guy could do all that, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't be the same as when Keanu does it.
Exactly.
It wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
So.
And even me interviewing you right now, it would be as fun and entertaining if I was.
Yes, we will do that movie. It'll be great. It's going to come off our fight. I think you'll love it.
You know what I mean? Like it's nothing will capture the personality either, right? As authentically as being yourself. So
true.
yeah, I mean, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And thank you for the laughs. And it was absolute pleasure interviewing you. And I look forward to your movies coming out.
Thank you.
I will put the information down in my links that you sent me. And everyone can give you a follow and follow your journey because I think you're going to great places. So
thank you.
And
just a reminder to everybody, if you want to see movies that I'm in now, if you have a smart TV, I'm sure you have streaming service. I'm not going to run, but if you have a smart TV, just type in Bishop Stevens movies, and they tend to pop up, wherever you can watch stuff, and it's already out there.
Perfect. And also, when you're big and you meet that final ladder, the top of the ladder, I would love to have you back.
Well, you might be waiting a long time because remember what I told you. There's not a top. You have to keep setting it higher. So let's just say when I get higher up.
You get higher up,
When I
yes.
get higher up, I will definitely be back. But yeah, you will. It's a date. You got that. It's a date.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Bishop.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.